So I get a lot of comments of people asking me just why I'm not out of the house more, why it's always Drew who goes and does things. And let me just give you a little snippet of like just why that is. And I know. Don't respond to the haters. It's not even really about me like being defensive or anything like that. It's about me calling people out so you can see just how nutty people truly are. Like to the extent that they'll take it. See, on this fine, beautiful Saturday, I felt inspired. The sun was beaming and I wanted to take my babies out and enjoy the sun and go to our favorite park. And I'm gonna make sure that wherever I go, I'm no more than 10 minutes away from my man so he can get to us if he needs to. And look, I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything. It's not like anything too extreme went down, but when I did notice stuff was getting a little sus, I got my babies and packed up and left because no, we're just sitting here trying to enjoy our time at the swing when some car pulls up directly behind us and just starts repeatedly honking, for like 10 minutes straight, spewing some crap out the window, but I wasn't paying attention. But they were also on the phone, and mysteriously a bunch of other cars start popping up and parking where they could see me and my kids. Mind you, all on their phones and staring in our direction. It was just getting weird. Now when they noticed I was trying to like pack my kids up and get to my car, these cars started to go towards where I was parked, one of which tried to park directly in front of me, kind of impeding my way of getting out, and sat there and started honking. Y'all are a little low-key smart for doing this when I'm with my kids, because you know I'm not about to do anything when I have my children, but if I was by myself, I think the situation would go a little different. But yeah, that's kind of why I stay home.
So yesterday, Stephanie made a video of her and the kids at the park, and she talks about why they never go anywhere, and she says it's because people follow them. She also said that yesterday when they were at the park, that there were people in their cars honking at her and her kids, and that they would not stop. She then said that mysteriously, other cars started showing up and doing the same thing and recording them. Now, I don't know what Stephanie is going through, but in the past, like a few months ago, she was just saying that her iCloud was hacked or something. Then we started getting all the yoga and the motel field content running at full speed. And she's like sweeping and mopping the motel freaking parking lot. So basically what she's saying is that the reason why they are never going to urban areas is because she has social anxiety and people are following her and recording her and her kids.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the wild world of TikTok drama, celebrity gossip, and all the alleged mess that keeps us scrolling way past bedtime. If you're new here, buckle up because today's video is a doozy. We're unpacking the latest from the Resilient Jenkins family, and let me tell you, it's got paranoia, park outings gone wrong, and a whole lot of questionable excuses that have the internet buzzing. But before we jump in, quick favor. Drop in the comments where you're watching from right now, what time it is there, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. All right, let's get into it. Now, for those of you who might be catching up, the Resilient Jenkins, that's Stephanie Jenkins, Drew Jenkins, and their brood of kids, have been a staple in the TikTok gossip scene for what feels like forever. They're the family that's always posting from their motel room, sharing these raw, unfiltered glimpses into their life that's equal parts chaotic and controversial.
It's been a minute since I have watched the Resilient Jenkins, and this particular post came up, and oh my gosh. Basically, if you haven't seen it, Stephanie is talking about how she wanted to just point out why her and her kids never go anywhere. And she says that on this Saturday, she decided to be adventurous, and she was feeling like she wanted to get out of the house, so she took her kids to the park. She couldn't be any more than 10 minutes away from Drew in case he needed to come get them or save them. I don't know. Look, I'll be the first to tell you that the world is crazy and scary, and I understand being scared about certain things in the world, okay? I am not going to discredit that. But where it gets weird, okay, is she is out and she says that there was cars that began honking at her and her children for over 10 minutes, and that's when she decided to pack up and get out of there. Now, she took an image of this vehicle, a Mercedes Benz. She says, you guys are low-key super smart to do all this while I'm out with my kids because you know that I'm not going to do anything when they're with me. Implying she is just that famous, she is that well known, and people are following her every move to know that they are going to a playground.
So the big hook that's got this story exploding? Stephanie recently dropped a video explaining why she and the kids hardly ever leave the house, or in their case, the motel. And oh boy, it's a tale that's straight bought out of a thriller novel, but with a hefty dose of skepticism from the online community. Allegedly, Stephanie decided to shake things up on a sunny Saturday, feeling adventurous enough to take the kids out for some fresh air. She mentions wanting to get out of the house, soak up the sun, and head to what she calls their favorite park. But here's where it gets interesting. She stresses that she's making sure they're no more than 10 minutes away from Drew at all times, just in case he needs to swoop in like some kind of motel room superhero. I mean, come on. That's the first red flag waving high. What exactly is Drew supposed to do in that scenario? Slide in on his socks and fend off the world? It's rumored that he's more attached to his P5 than anything else, so the idea of him being the knight in shining armor feels a bit stretched, don't you think?
Like, Stephanie, you cannot believe that. You cannot. It'd be one thing if she just simply said, I'm a nervous wreck, I get too afraid of the world, and just called it like it is. But she literally said people are following her and honking at her to scare her because she's just so well known. She's just so TikTok famous. She said that the car was honking for over 10 minutes while they were on the swings, and when she clips the shot of her kids on the swings, not a honk heard. Not one single honk heard. Now look, I have no idea what the intention would be of like lying and making up this story, because it's just so crazy. Nobody is following them like that. So famous, but still cannot afford to get out of that motel. So famous, but can't afford to have a vehicle that can get her and her man to and from with all their kids. So famous, but still no urban air for the children. Like, I don't think the delusion can be any worse than what we see from Stephanie with the Resilient Jenkins.
Anyway, according to the alleged account, they get to this park, which, by the way, looks pretty low-key, like a sandy area with some swings and maybe a splash pad, nothing extravagant. It's just them there initially, which makes sense because summer's winding down and not everyone's out adventuring. But Stephanie claims that things turned weird fast. She says a car pulls up right behind them while the kids are on the swings, and the driver starts honking repeatedly. Not just a quick beep, but for over 10 minutes straight, and not only that, but they're allegedly shouting obscenities out the window, all while holding up their phone like they're filming the whole scene. Then, as if on cue, more cars start showing up, parking in positions where they can stare directly at her and the kids, all on their phones, honking away. It escalates to the point where, when she tries to pack up and leave, one of these cars allegedly tries to block her in, parking right in front of her vehicle and continuing the chaos. Stephanie's take on this? She implies these people are super smart for pulling this stunt while she's with her kids because she wouldn't do anything rash in front of them. But if she were alone, it would have gone down differently.
Absurd there, because he already knows, like, 9 times out of 10, that's why he's the one going to the stores, because those interactions of, like, the whole paying for the... I get anxiety, okay? Like, that interaction... I'll try this. It's, like, antibacterial disinfectant. Let's do it. This is when it comes to toys and stuff. And my daughter, like, wrote a note to the Tooth Fairy saying she wants a toy, not money. So I'm trying to find something from the Tooth Fairy. I guess I'm getting her ahead. She actually been asking for something to, like, kind of just style hair. And I know it's miniature, but still she's been asking for. What gives me the social anxiety these days is that I really do only have so many outfits, you know? And I don't like the idea of y'all, like, getting me out in public and being like, look, she is the grimy, scrimey, homeless chick. She only rocks the same outfits. Like, I actually am embarrassed about that, you feel me? Like,
girl, please. What exactly would that look like? A one-woman showdown against a fleet of mystery cars? It's all alleged, of course, but the online buzz is calling major BS on the whole thing. Why? Because Stephanie is notorious for filming literally everything. Her TikTok is a constant stream of motel life, laundry runs, parking lot sweeps, you name it. She's got the camera rolling. Yet in this supposedly terrifying moment, with phones allegedly pointed at her from every angle, she doesn't capture a single second of footage. Not even a quick pan to show these honking harassers. Instead, she shares a clip of the kids swinging peacefully, and guess what? Not a honk in sight. Zero audio evidence of this 10-minute symphony of car horns. It's like the chaos conveniently happened off camera.
Stephanie, don't piss me off today. Nobody is trying to take you and your 5 kids. I don't know if you noticed this, but it's a park. People are gonna pull up to play at the park. It sounds to me like paranoia from, And you did all this recording. And you never showed us a vehicle. I didn't hear a horn honk. Maybe I missed it. But I didn't even hear that. But yeah, nobody is, quit making excuses. Please. We never get more than 2 minutes away from, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Come on. My husband be gone for weeks at a time to the other side of the country. You're okay, all right?
And let's not forget the photo she did share, a zoomed-in shot of a Mercedes-Benz parked nearby. But from what folks are saying in the rumors, there's no one in it. No windows down, no obvious connection to the drama. It's just a random car in a parking lot, minding its own business. Why highlight that if the real culprits were these other vehicles swarming her? It feels like a prop in a story that's more fiction than fact. Allegedly, this isn't the first time Stephanie's paranoia has popped up. Remember the whispers about her iCloud being hacked a few months back? Or how she blamed online haters for intercepting her Amazon packages, claiming that's why stuff for the kids never arrives? It's like every setback in her life gets pinned on some shadowy internet force out to get her. Packages go missing? Must be the trolls tampering with deliveries. Can't get out of the motel? Blame the followers who are allegedly stalking her every move.
So Stephanie Jenkins from the Resilient Jenkins explains why she doesn't take her kids out. One, if they go anywhere, they have to be at least 10 minutes from Drew so he can get to them. Two, the first time she's actually took her kids on an outing this summer, and summer's almost over. It was today. She took them to a sand park that looks like it has like a little bit of water thingy, but nothing crazy. It looks like it was just them there. And she stated that people parked at a park and were on their phones and they were beeping the horn staring at her. And then a couple minutes later, a couple more cars came. And that when she got nervous and they seen her packing up to take her kids and leave, they tried to block her car in. Now, mind you, Stephanie is a TikToker. You mean to tell me, as much as you have that phone in your hands, as much as you record that you shouldn't record, that you didn't record that? It just baffles me that as much that goes on, and you guys talk about you didn't record that, then that pretty much explains why she doesn't take her kids out.
But here's the thing that makes this all so eye-roll worthy. If she's so famous that people are tailing her to a random park, coordinating honk attacks, and blocking her car, how come that fame hasn't translated to, I don't know, actual stability? Rumors swirl that despite all the TikTok views, they're still stuck in that motel. No car that can reliably transport the whole family. No outings to places like Urban Air that the kids have been promised forever. So famous, yet the children are allegedly playing in a grassy lot next to the motel instead of real adventures. It's the ultimate contradiction. Celebrity status without the perks, just the paranoia. And this park trip? Allegedly the first real outing all summer, and summer's basically over. The timing is suspiciously perfect for drama. Just when people are questioning why the kids are cooped up, boom, a scary story emerges as the excuse. Now, diving deeper into the alleged mental health angle, and again, this is all speculative based on online chatter.
Girl, first of all, you have a phone. If something's going on, you feel uncomfortable, call somebody. Two, you already said Drew wasn't that far from you, so call him, have him come. Then you go and say that these people are blocking you in, you don't record it, you don't show no proof of it, nothing, that they were yelling from the car, but you don't know what they said because you weren't paying attention. Obviously you were paying attention if you've seen all these people pull in. Now mind you, this could have happened, but it's just ironic that the first time that they take their kids out all summer long, the first time she takes her kids out all summer long to do something fun besides sitting in a motel or playing in that godforsaken grass lot, something bad happens. They don't do nothing with their kids any other time, and as soon as they do something with their kids, the first time something bad happens. I think that's ironic. What about you? I don't know. I feel like she is starting to run out of things to talk about, and she's starting to realize that she's not, her videos aren't getting the views it used to. And it's because she's not, it's not interesting. It's just the same thing every single day. And there's never, it's just the same crap until people are tired of it. And she just wants something else to complain about, so she's gonna say whatever. We know that they both lie all the time. And she needs an excuse of why she doesn't take her kids out, and this is gonna be the excuse now because people are following them.
Stephanie's behavior screams undiagnosed issues to some observers. That sense of everyone being out to get her, from random park goers to Amazon delivery folks, mirrors patterns seen in people dealing with paranoia. I've heard stories from those who've worked in homeless services, where unhoused individuals talk about the FBI following them, government conspiracies contaminating their water, or strangers holding secret intel on them. It's heartbreaking, really, because it points to a deeper struggle that goes untreated. Stephanie shares her entire life on social media, which could amp up that paranoia, but rumors suggest it'd be there regardless. She allegedly refuses to seek help, and you can't force someone into treatment unless they're ready.
Stephanie, be so for real right now, please. The paparazzi aren't after you, honey. I promise you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you got your kids at the park, okay? No one. And if people were honking at you for 10 minutes and then blocking you while you were trying to get in the car with your vehicle, I'm pretty sure you would have recorded all that. Or let's hope you did. And let's hope you reported it to the cops instead of just saying something about it on the internet screens, you know? I'm just wondering why you're afraid to go to the dollar store and go to the park and stuff. No one's taking videos of you. No one's chasing you around, taking pictures and videos. You're not Kim Kardashian, if you haven't figured that out yet. I'm holding your hand when I say this, that you're okay. But sometimes, when you do have anxiety and depression and stuff like that, and you partake in certain things, it makes it worse. And it's this thing called paranoia. You're okay, honey, I promise. And, you know, if something like that did happen to you, you just call the police, okay? All right, bye.
It's a cycle. The more she posts, the more eyes on her, the more she feels watched, and round it goes. But let's not gloss over the family dynamics here. Drew Jenkins is painted in these rumors as the guy who's always out running errands while Stephanie stays put. Why? Allegedly because she's the one too scared to venture far, needing him within a 10-minute rescue radius. But what good is that if, as whispers suggest, his priorities lean more toward gaming than guardianship? And the kids, oh, those poor kids, allegedly barefoot in the park near what looks like discarded junk, finally getting a taste of outside after months indoors. It's rumored that this favorite park claim is bogus because we've never seen footage of it before.
Some car pulls up directly behind us and just starts repeatedly honking, for like 10 minutes straight. Spewing some crap out the window, but I wasn't paying attention. But they were also on the phone, and mysteriously a bunch of other cars start popping up and parking where they could see me and my kids. Mind you, all on their phones and staring in our direction. It was just getting weird. Now, when they noticed I was trying to pack my kids up and get to my car, these cars started to go towards where I was parked. One of which tried to park directly in front of me, kind of impeding my way of getting out, and sat there and started honking.
She's filmed laundromat trips, motel check-ins, store runs with half the family. But this spot? Crickets until now. It adds to the skepticism. If it's so beloved, why hide it until you need an excuse story? Shifting gears a bit, there's this whole layer of legal mess that's allegedly bubbling under the surface. Word on the street is that Stephanie is still legally married to her ex, Jeremiah Thompson, who's reportedly in prison. That means the 2 kids she shares with Drew, legally, they're not his. It's like a plot twist from a soap opera. Conceived while still tied to the previous husband, so paternity defaults to the legal spouse. Rumors compare it to Gypsy Rose Blanchard's situation, where she had to sort out paternity agreements after having a child while still married to someone else. What if Jeremiah doesn't sign off? What if prison complications drag it out? It allegedly adds trauma to these kids' lives, caught in adult drama they didn't ask for. And Drew? Does he even know? If he finds out, rumors speculate he might bolt, washing his hands of the whole thing since there's no legal tie binding him.
So Stephanie Thompson, thinking that she's being followed around, having complete strangers show up to the park to film her and to bother her, her blaming the internet or us haters for her packages not getting to her, or having the packages that she ordered for her kids not get to her because we are intercepting her Amazon packages, is paranoia. But also too, it's really more than anything else, basically the signs of a mental health condition. Now we go to the park and we don't accuse
strangers of being there and recording us. We don't accuse random strangers on the internet of basically disrupting our Amazon packages. We don't do that. But people who are who have a mental health disorder, who refuse to seek diagnosis, have that sense of paranoia.
This ties into the bigger picture of accountability, or the lack thereof. Stephanie allegedly blames everything on external forces. Haters for the packages, stalkers for the isolation, the internet for her anxiety. But never a peep about her own choices. Why not get a job to fund those promised outings? Why not prioritize housing over whatever else the money goes to? Speaking of money, rumors are flying that TikTok payouts hit on the fiend, so folks are watching for signs like a high chair for the baby. Something she's allegedly had on hand but didn't mention earlier because, you guessed it, haters might sabotage it. It's endless deflection, and it's wearing thin on viewers. Her videos aren't pulling the numbers they used to. The motel monotony is getting stale. Same complaints, same excuses, no progress. Is this park story a desperate grab for views? Allegedly, yes. A fabricated scare to explain the stagnation and rally sympathy from the few fans left. And let's touch on the animal abuse allegations, because we can't ignore that stain on their reputation. Rumors persist about neglect, or worse with pets in the past, which just piles on the criticism.
And a sense of that paranoia is self-aggrandizement. And I only know this because I spent many years of my life working in homeless services. I basically was the individual that helped homeless people basically try to get off the streets and into permanent housing and get them connected with services. And basically what Stephanie Thompson says, the paranoia, the Amazon packages being disrupted by random strangers on the internet, I heard those exact same things from the unhoused individuals that I was working with when I was doing homeless services navigation. I was basically a homeless services coordinator. And when I was out on the streets meeting unhoused individuals, I heard the FBI is following me around. The FBI are going to come and kidnap me. There's strangers following me around. I'm scared to drink this water because it's contaminated by the government. The government's trying to get me. I'm holding government secrets. So for me, the paranoia that Stephanie Thompson is going through is something that I've spent many years of my life basically encountering, because I was a homeless service coordinator. I worked with unhoused people, and I dealt with these paranoia on a daily basis. So, her basically sharing her entire life in social media adds to her paranoia.
It's all part of this pattern, controversial decisions broadcasted online, backlash ensues, and instead of reflection, it's more deflection. The Resilient Jenkins brand was built on resilience, but lately it feels like resilience against reality itself. Expanding on the park incident's implications, if this were true, and again, it's all alleged, it raises questions about safety in the creator space. Other TikTokers like Astro Vigno have dealt with real pull-ups and weirdos, but they capture it on camera, rally the community, and let TikTok's hive mind handle the rest. Stephanie, nada. No footage, no call-outs, just a narrative that conveniently shields her from criticism about keeping the kids cooped up. It's ironic, the first fun outing in ages, and it turns disastrous.
So, are we going to talk about how Stephanie is charging y'all for sub-only content, and the said sub-only content is her talking about her having a UTI? I never really understood why people pay for sub-only content when it's really no different than the content that they're doing. Literally charging people $6+ a month to talk about your UTI. I'm so glad that other people post the sub-only content, because ain't no fucking way. You know what's so crazy though? The fact that Stephanie was just talking about Atlas having an appointment the same day, but her and Drew have been to the doctors, prompt care, hospital multiple fucking times, and they still have not taken their son to the doctor. And that they had to cancel the appointment that they had for him last month for what? Oh, you can go to the doctor, Drew can go to the doctor, but your kids can't go to the doctor. This is literally the type of shit that y'all support and pay for, and it's really crazy to me that y'all do. But y'all have to let me know what you think down in the comments.
Coincidence? Or a crafted tale to justify more motel-bound content? Delving into the paranoia deeper, speculatively of course, it's not just parks and packages. Rumors hint at broader delusions, like believing her fame draws constant surveillance. But fame without fortune? That's the delusion deluxe. Can't afford a vehicle for family trips, yet convinced paparazzi-level stalkers are honking her out of playgrounds. It's laughable if it weren't so sad, especially for the kids missing out on normal childhood stuff. On the flip side, Drew's role in all this is allegedly passive at best. He's the errand runner, the supposed protector, but whispers suggest he's as stuck in the cycle as anyone. Does he buy into the paranoia, or is it enabling? And with the legal paternity bombshell looming, it could shatter everything.
Stephanie done took them children outside. Now, in Stephanie's latest video, we see her at the park. She has taken the kids to the park, right? They're finally outside. Now, granted, in the first few seconds of the clip, you see Atlas barefoot next to what looks like a joint butt. But that is neither here or there, but I've seen it. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen it, but I've seen it. A lot of people are calling BS on this video. So let me just get into a few little facts. As other creators have stated, we just got paid. We just got paid on the 15th. So it's great to see that Stephanie and the kids are outside. She was like, hey, that money done dropped. Let me take my kids to a free park. I digress though, because free or not, they're outside. They outside. They outside. They're outside. Now, a lot of people are calling BS on this whole video because Stephanie then goes on to explain why she don't take her kids outside. First of all, number one, she says that this park that they were at is their favorite park. A lot of people are calling BS on that because we've seen her favorite places. We've seen the laundromat. She films going to the laundromat. She's filmed them packing up, going to the motel for the one day. Like, she's filmed, like, when they have taken half of the kids to the store. Like, so it's weird that she said this is their favorite part, but we ain't never seen them there.
Imagine the fallout. Court battles, agreements, all while living in limbo. Circling back to the video's structure, Stephanie starts with "God is great, beer ain't good," which is random, but sets a tone of folks being crazy. Then dives into the defense, not responding to haters, but calling out nuttiness. It's a classic pivot. Turn criticism into content. But without proof, it falls flat. As for community reactions, rumors say creators are piling on, from calling out the barefoot kid near debris to questioning the payout timing. They outside finally, but only post-payday? Suspicious. And the high chair saga, allegedly ordered but hushed to avoid sabotage. Blame game on steroids.
We never ever see them there. She then goes on to explain why we don't ever see them taking their kids nowhere. She says while she was at the park, their favorite park, a car pulled up. A car pulled up and someone rolled down their window and was blowing their horn for 10 whole minutes and was shouting obscenities at them and had their camera out. And this went on. And then she said more cars showed up. Multiple cars showed up and they were all facing her and they were all staring at her and her children. And the cameras were all, like, everyone had cameras and they're all blowing their horns. And this was a scary ordeal. She got her and her kids up out of there. And she said, and then they're lucky that they did this while she had her children because she couldn't do anything but get out of there. And it was just so odd because it would seem like if this took place, you already have your camera out. Why didn't you film the perpetrators?
Ultimately, this update highlights a family allegedly spiraling in self-made drama. Paranoia unchecked, excuses piled high, kids paying the price. Is it mental health? Laziness? View chasing? All alleged, but the patterns scream for change. What started as a community-driven push to call out Stephanie and Drew for their parenting choices, with the supposed goal of advocating for their kids' well-being, has spiraled into something far darker. Rumors suggest it's no longer about constructive criticism or helping those children. It's become a toxic cycle of manufactured drama, orchestrated for views, likes, and clout. Allegedly, some creators have realized that stirring up conflict generates more engagement, more content, and more attention than any genuine advocacy ever could. The more chaos they create, the more they have to talk about, regardless of the real-world impact on actual people, especially those kids caught in the crossfire. It's a troubling sign that some have completely lost the plot, turning what was meant to be a cause into a fantasy soap opera for profit.
See, because I'm not going to say that this can't happen because I also used to do Astro Video content and I know that people do be weird. They do pull up and they do weird stuff when they pull up. But one thing about Astro Video was she was catching people on camera. She was trying to catch people on camera. It would seem like if people pull up to a park, there's nothing but space and opportunity and you already got your phone out. why would you not put these people on camera, especially if they're already filming you? And TikTok would have taken care of them, period. We're not for the Resilient Jenkins, but one thing we're also not for is pulling up and harassing people at the park with their kids. TikTok would have handled whoever that was. We would have found them in 2.5 seconds. They would have lost their job. Like, we would have handled it. We would have handled it. Even though everybody has their own personal feelings about this family, we all would have handled that. Because one thing TikTok don't play about is kids. They do not play about kids and harassing kids and grown-ups doing weird stuff around kids. We don't go for it. So it's kind of a weird choice that this happened and that there are multiple people doing this and she didn't catch not one person on the camera. She did photograph, like, she did scroll and see a Mercedes, but I have a feeling that whoever owns that Mercedes is going to come out and say, hey, I didn't do none of this. Like, I want people to keep posting this Mercedes, because she did zoom in on her Mercedes, but there was nobody in the car. Like, no, the window wasn't down and it wasn't blaring a horn like what she was saying. Nobody was shouting obscenities. So why did you show us this Mercedes? It was like you just wanted to show us a car. But supposedly there were multiple cars pulled up, pointing cameras at her. None of this caught on film. So
Let's dive into the meat of this alleged mess. Leaked messages between a creator named Mad and another unnamed creator, both of whom have publicly positioned themselves as advocates for the Jenkins kids. These chats, as rumored, paint a very different picture. Not of concern, but of calculated scheming to inject more drama into an already volatile situation. Instead of brainstorming ways to push Stephanie toward better parenting or support systems for the kids, they were allegedly swapping ideas on how to escalate tension, create personal conflicts, and target other creators who comment on the Jenkins saga. The leaks reveal plans for targeted harassment campaigns, not just petty jabs, but deliberate steps to harm reputations and pit people against each other. We're talking rage bait videos aimed at Morgan, a creator known for consistently calling out the Jenkins behavior, fake accounts using the name of a deceased child to troll, and schemes to provoke Jenna, a longtime Jenkins supporter.
So Stephanie and Drew from the Resilient Jenkins have let something slip through their videos once again. And this time it is devastating because it is about their daughter and some expressions and emotions that she is writing down on a little notepad on their other daughter's birthday. As we all know, Drew has a secondary account that he posts on, and it was their daughter's birthday, and he was making some burgers. And when he brought his burger over to Stephanie's other daughter, you see two notes kind of lying on her lap that she sets down when he hands her the plate. One is an actual written note, and the other is a photo. So one of them is this photo, and people are seeing two children playing. It kind of looks like outside. And at the bottom, people are speculating that it could be a child crying because it looks like it's got big teardrops. This is just what people are looking and observing from this photo. But it really goes hand in hand with what she was writing, so I don't think people are too far off. The little girl has a note written, and it says, "I am sorry, but I hate your birthday. I feel," and the last two words are a little hard to read, but so left out or so alone. To me, I think it looks like I feel left out.
The goal? Allegedly to set these creators at each other's throats, plant rumors on both sides, and ensure everyone's too busy fighting to remember the original point. The kids. One of the most shocking allegations involves a creator called Monty's Mama, a grieving mother who's been vocal in supporting another creator, Desiree. The leaked chats reportedly show Mad and her associate plotting to create fake social media accounts, including one using the name and photos of Monty's deceased son.
But this is what she has written. And if you can't see why this is a big deal, then this is what I would ask you to think about. Children in situations like the Resilient Jenkins children, children who are getting shuffled from place to place, lack stability, are likely lacking emotional safety during this time. Because she wrote this privately, that also screams a really big red flag. It doesn't mean that she didn't vocalize this, but oftentimes journaling is kind of a last resort where you're writing it down because your feelings and that safety behind that emotion is not being met. So the fact that she did decide to write this down in a letter seems like she's screaming for just someone to listen, even if it's just down on paper. I know a lot of people might say, oh, well, kids get jealous of their siblings' birthdays all the time. And I would argue you're right.
They allegedly spread a heinous lie that she killed her son in a drunk driving accident, complete with fabricated posts begging for forgiveness. In reality, Monty died in a tragic motor accident in 2021, unrelated to any such narrative. This wasn't a careless rumor. It was a calculated fabrication designed to destroy her reputation and exploit her grief for public spectacle. Imagine waking up to find a profile using your child's name, accusing you of causing their death. It's not just cruel, it's depraved, inhumane, and potentially life-threatening psychological abuse, especially for a parent already carrying such a profound loss. Rumors suggest this could push someone to their breaking point, with some in the community even warning it might become a 13th reason for someone with fragile mental health.
They do. Human nature, your child is likely going to be a little bit jealous of their sibling's birthday. They might be getting gifts, they might be getting presents, and usually they will vocalize those out loud. They might act a little jealous or a little pouty, but oftentimes they're not going to sit down and write it down in a note along with a picture that they're drawing as well. Next thing I want to note is they are likely experiencing chronic emotional deprivation. What this means is they're lacking privacy. They're lacking one-on-one time. They're lacking any sense of self. This could also mean that they're feeling overwhelmed by the chaos, which I know a lot of us can speculate is happening in that motel. And this could also mean there is favoritism happening within this home, which again, many people speculate is happening. Now, reading the note, the fact that she starts out with "I'm sorry" says that she's extremely conflicted with these feelings. She knows that it's not right to feel sad or upset that it's her sister's birthday, but she can't suppress those feelings any further.
But it doesn't stop there. The leaks allegedly reveal they didn't just target Monty's mama. They went after her husband too, digging through her personal Facebook to steal photos and create multiple fake TikTok accounts, including one called Monty's Dad. The kicker? Her husband doesn't even use TikTok, making these accounts purely for mockery and harassment. Matt allegedly escalated this further with a public Facebook post naming Monty's mama, Christine Swanson, stripping her anonymity and mocking her as a crazy old psycho with a parasocial relationship. The post accused her of stalking and supporting Jenna, the Jenkins defender, with no evidence beyond malicious intent. This wasn't commentary, it was a deliberate attempt to humiliate, crafted to wound deeply. The Jenkins drama itself has been fueled by equally insidious allegations, like the infamous side piece narrative. Rumors claim Mad and others orchestrated a story that Drew was cheating on Stephanie with a woman who, conveniently, claimed to work at Amazon, just like Mad herself. This overlap has sparked speculation. Did Mad recruit a colleague to play this role, staging a fake affair to keep Stephanie under attack?
It's just further proof that what these children are going through is affecting them, which is something that I, along with others who speak about this family, have said since day one. Stephanie likes to put on that her children are totally fine, safe, and okay. And this outpour, this cry for attention, this cry for help, this is exactly the stuff that people are trying to talk about and trying to bring awareness to. The children are not happy in this situation. And it doesn't matter how many times Stephanie tells herself they aren't. I, for one, am just praying for these kids. I really do hope that Stephanie and Drew can find it in them to give these children more stability, because they are crying for help and their needs are not being met.
If true, the entire scandal, complete with exclusive revelations and back-and-forth comments, was allegedly choreographed like a scripted TV drama, manipulating audiences into believing real betrayal was unfolding. The fallout? Stephanie's insecurities about Drew, already a sore spot, were inflamed, potentially causing tension in their cramped motel room, all in front of their kids. If this was fabricated, it's not just manipulative, it's cruel, exploiting real emotions for content. Morgan, another creator caught in this web, faced her own nightmare. Rumors say Mad befriended a woman named Hannah in Illinois, near Morgan's grandmother's home, and convinced her and her mother to physically show up at the house to check if Morgan's kids were there. Hannah allegedly knocked on the door and pressed her ear against it, eavesdropping while Morgan's sister, babysitting an infant, refused to open it. Thankfully, Morgan's kids weren't there, but the incident left her grandmother, a vulnerable elder with no ties to this drama, feeling unsafe in her own home.
Looks like we have another Jenna Jenkins, or as I call it, Resilient Jenkins lover. So I have no idea who this girl is, but she has been posting about me literally every single day about how pretty I am, but also talking about me. So I don't know. I think she hates me and she loves me, but I'm just confused because she's posting like this ticket that I got literally in high school. Like, I did not have kids, and I'm just confused because you're like defending Hannah, but I have a picture of her holding a literal alcohol bottle over her child's head. That's your friend, right, Hannah? Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. So that girl actually had like real life CPS cases, alcohol bottles over her child's head, not restraining her child in her car seat correctly, and you're talking about a ticket from like well over 10 years ago. Y'all literally never talk about anything that's like real or recent because y'all have nothing to fucking say.
Morgan's response was raw. Her kids can no longer visit their grandmother due to real-life stalking. She emphasized she's never crossed into anyone's private life, keeping her criticism to public social media behavior. Yet she and her family were hunted down like prey, a chilling escalation from online spats to real-world threats. This brings us to a creator who took the rare step of apologizing to Stephanie, not for criticizing her parenting, which she still stands by, but for amplifying the side piece narrative. She admitted to being swept up by fake accounts stirring drama, now believing the affair was entirely fabricated. She speculated that Dolce, another creator, might have propped up the story by verifying a phone number linked to the side piece, possibly to aid Desiree's court case. But lies, even for a cause, are wrong, especially when they deepen family tensions in front of impressionable kids. The apology carries weight, acknowledging that ridiculing Stephanie for trusting Drew was unfair if the scandal was fake.
People are in an uproar that Stephanie said that the people that make money off of her need to thank her. You know what? I give her that one. She get that one little one. You know, she ain't never ate before, but for the first time ever, Stephanie, you ate that one little time. I'm gonna give you that one. Like everybody, a million. Stephanie won. You still got a lot of catching up to do, but I will say that one little one, you ate that. I'll give you that.
So, where does this leave us? The Jenkins drama, once about accountability, has morphed into a chaotic circus of personal vendettas, fake accounts, and real-world harm. The kids, who should have been the focus, are now collateral damage, their lives dissected for clicks. Rumors of animal abuse and exploiting poverty aesthetics only deepen the criticism, but the manufactured scandals, like the side piece story, add nothing constructive. It's a stark reminder of how far things can stray when clout overrides ethics. Drop your thoughts below. Has this gone too far? Where are you watching from, and what's the time? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. This mess isn't slowing down. Peace out.